Hi everyone and welcome to the PokeTamer YouTube channel. In this series or journey or whatever you want to call it, I buy and sell Pokemon cards on eBay. The main goal is to make a profit, but alongside that I'm also completing a couple of sets in my binder and just generally collecting things I like along the way. So as mentioned in the previous video, base set, jungle and fossil were completed back in 2018. I stopped doing this for a bit, I stopped buying cards for a bit, and this year I've got back into it to complete the next two sets. I've been stockpiling all the stuff I've been buying off eBay because I want to open the packages on camera so we can look through them together. However, there were a few things that I bought at the beginning of this year before I decided to do YouTube. So this video is going to be focusing on that. I'm going to take you through what I purchased, how much it cost, and up here there is now going to be a running total of how much I'm spending and how much I'm making from selling. As I mentioned previously, it's going to go heavy into the losses to begin with because I'm stockpiling stuff, but fingers crossed I'll get selling soon. Now I don't want this video to run too long, so I'm just going to get straight to it and start going through some of the bits. Some of it's in the binder and some of it's just loose. I'm going to do my best to literally count everything that I've purchased to go into this running total because I think that's the fairest way of doing it. So to start with, my very first purchase was, strangely enough, this slab. It's actually, considering that I wanted to complete two sets, this has nothing to do with it. I didn't mention in the last video, but it might have been pretty obvious, is that the Sandshrew Sand / Evolution line is my favourite. It was my favourite as a kid. I'm not really sure why, I think I thought they just looked cool. And when I played the games, it was always, I'd get a Sandshrew as quickly as I could because I wanted to train it up to use that as my main Pokemon. When I saw this come up, I just thought it was a good price. I couldn't really pass it up, and then I thought to myself, oh, maybe that's quite a cool thing, is to collect Sand / PSA slabs. So now if I see one come up, it's a good price, I'll go for it, but it's not something I'm fully focused on. The binder and the sets in there are going to be the main focus. These are just going to be a little side thing, but obviously I'll be making a loss on these because I'm not looking to resell them. This is just my personal collection. So if I put that up on screen now, the eBay listing, so I paid £21 for it. I think, what was it, about £3 post and packaging. So I think in total for this one, I spent £24 and 5p, which will go up on the running total at the moment. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good price, to be honest, for a PSA 10 card from 1997. So that's this one, that's the first purchase. So my next purchase was this stack of Wizards of the Coast cards. I think it's about 70 cards here. I'll put the listing up now. The main thing that drew me towards these was the fact that it said in the description it contains a fair few first edition fossil cards. So I've actually gone through now and put the first edition ones in my binder. Some double up, so that's this Shelder, for example, that'll be sold. But these two, I think I missed these two originally. So that's another good thing about doing the YouTube, is that it makes me double check what I did previously. But I'll actually add these in a second. But yeah, generally it's just a big stack of common and uncommon cards. There's a few trainers, but it's mostly Pokemon, to be honest, so it's quite a good set and the condition's not too bad. But this cost me £8 2p, and the postage was about £3.30, so it's quite expensive on the postage, which is unfortunate, but I think £11.32p for this stack. It's not amazing, but it's not too bad. I think I'll definitely make profit on this, because I think the idea will be to add these into a binder and sell them in a binder, which I think you always get more for these sorts of cards when they're included in binders rather than loose. But this sort of listing was exactly what I'm looking for. It was just a bundle of cards, sort of all mixed together. You can't really see exactly every card that's in there, and that's what I like. I like the mystery of it. So when I first got these, it was good. There's no rares, there's nothing amazing in here, but it's just a nice big set of old school cards. So yeah, I'm quite happy with this purchase. So as I mentioned earlier, we have a few first editions in here. So as you can see, it came with quite a few. I think it came with the Golem, you've got the Weezing, the Ekans, you've got the Grimer, Tentacruel, you've got Omastar up there. Then on this page you've got Horsey, Kabuto, Tentacool, Slowpoke, Shelder, Psyduck, Zubat. So it came with most of the commons as first edition, which is great. And as you saw earlier, I missed out these two. So let's have a look at these now. That is this one here. Let's have a look at the condition of both of them. think they're pretty similar. Might be that the first edition one has slightly more edge wear, but the unlimited version is more off center. So for me, it's definitely worth putting in a first edition over an unlimited. Just from a pure value standpoint, they're always worth more. And then this one over here, again, it's going to be pretty much the same, I would guess. To be fair, the first edition does have a fair bit more edge wear, but then this one's not great either. So I think we'll still definitely go with the first edition one in the binder. But there you have it, so that's 2 more first editions in there. Now my next purchase was actually one of my favourites. It was this binder itself. So as I mentioned in the previous video, my cards were in a really cheap, poor binder before, and I wanted a Vortex one, and I ideally wanted the 12 per page style one, which I've got here, because I wanted to fit all my sets in there, and I didn't want to have to split multiple sets between multiple binders. I just wanted it all in one, which this is great for. I was keeping an eye out for binders and saw this one come up, so I'll put the eBay listing up now. So it was actually listed for £10, which is still a really good deal, but I always like to make an offer, and I offered £8, they accepted it, and then it was £1 postage. So, you know, if my maths is correct, that's £9, and that's a really good deal for this binder. I haven't seen anything else anywhere near as cheap. It's a really good quality binder, and it came in really good condition as well. It had no marks, nothing going on with it, so yeah, very happy. My next purchase was just these sleeves. I didn't have any sleeves before, so I wanted some. I'll put the listing up now. This is a pretty basic purchase. There wasn't anything really special about this. I just want to be completely transparent with the total up in the corner and make sure that everything I bought this year in regards to Pokemon is included in this total. So I bought 4 packs at the time. It came to £11.96p. It was free postage. Now I don't think I actually paid that much for it. I think I made an offer because they were accepting offers at the time, and I paid less, but I can't remember what it was, and I'm not sure, so I'm just going to say it cost £11.96 for 4. But yeah, you know, sleeves are sleeves. These are fine. They're great. They've done the job, so happy with these too. So my next purchase is actually my first attempt at modern cards. So it was this binder. Now it came with just a random assortment of modern cards in there. As you can see, they are not in here anymore. I mostly made this purchase for the binder, so I'll put the listing up now. I didn't spend a lot on it. It was £6.50 with £5.39 postage, which is quite a lot, to be honest, for the postage. So it came to £11.89p total. Now, the modern cards I can't show you because it's actually the first thing I've sold and the only thing I've sold so far. So I'll quickly put that listing on. I can only show you the pictures that I took for the listing. I sold those cards for £6.29p. I'll put the description up so you can see that as well. As you can see with the pictures, I sort of, again, just put them in a big pile. But with the description, I tried to be as honest as I could. And I basically put the dates for all the cards. So I think the oldest was 2007, but there was only one of them. And the latest was 2023. I think the bulk of the cards were 2022, and there was quite a lot from 2017. I put how many rare ones there were, but from what I can remember, there wasn't anything particularly expensive in there. I did look up on TCG Player, but yeah, there wasn't anything amazing. Now, unfortunately, with the eBay fees, it takes off, what was that, about £1.45 I think. So I think my total I got for it was about £4.84p, which isn't fantastic. But it means I basically got this binder for about £7, which again isn't particularly great. But like I say, this was my first sort of experience with trying to sell modern. So the more I do it, the better I'll probably get. It was more sort of like to learn and then also to get a binder out of it. As I say, I've got some more modern stuff which I've purchased, so I'll be going through that on camera in the future. So this next purchase was actually the other Sand/Slash Slab. As you can see here, it's a first edition English fossil, so I'll put the listing up now. I paid slightly more than the Japanese one for this. I paid £33, which again I don't think is too bad, and it was about £4.50 postage. So I think total for this was £37.49p. Again, this one's for my collection, so won't be making anything back on this. But it wasn't really my initial idea when I was collecting these to collect every single card that there is of Sand/Slash. I kind of just want to collect the different artworks that there are. If I got this before the Japanese one, I probably wouldn't have bought the Japanese one. I thought I can't really pass up on this one because I think that's still quite a good price for a first edition fossil, you know, PSA 10. I think I'm done with this artwork now and I'm going to look at other ones. I really want a Topps one at the moment, but I'm going to have to keep an eye out for that. This next purchase was a bit of a random one, to be honest. I think I maybe pulled the trigger on it a bit too early. I'll put the listing up now, but as you can see, it was a bundle of about 12 cards and there was only one card in there that was anything good really. But if you have a quick look through here, you've got some trainers. I mean, they're all vintage. But yeah, there's nothing crazy until you get to this card. Again, it's not like this is the best holo ever. I don't think I actually realised how cheap this one is. If you look on eBay sold prices, I think you can probably get this for like a couple of quid, 2 quid, 3 quid. Especially in this condition, it's not awful. So I paid £4 for the whole bundle, but with postage as well, it came to £5.85p. I basically paid £5.85p for just this holo because the other cards in here aren't really worth anything. I can use them as filler for other binders, but it was mainly this. And as I say, it's like, it's okay. It's not a particularly great deal. I've definitely got better deals going forward in these packages I'm going to open, but you know, it's okay. So my next purchase, I'll put the eBay listing on the screen now. It was actually a bundle of 25 rocket cards. There weren't any rares in there. It was just common and uncommon. Now, this is the first rocket cards I bought. So minus about 1 or 2 commons that I already had. The vast majority of what you see in this binder now is from this bundle. So I think it was 25 cards. So if I count them up, I think it's about 27 in here. So I can't remember what the couple were I had before, but I think I had 2 cards just left over in my tin, which I added to this. I'll put the listing back up now. I know it says £12, but I actually put an offer in for this and got £8.50 accepted. £12 wouldn't have been good for what's here, but £8.50 is probably about right, or not too far off. And I think postage was £2.50, so I think total it came to £11 for 25 cards, which again isn't amazing, but I needed all of them. So for me, that's a good deal, that's fine, but that'll be added to the total now. Now, this was the last thing I bought and opened before I decided to YouTube, and it was these 6 rare Team Rocket cards. So I'll put the listing on screen now, but I paid £12 for these with 75p packaging, so £12.75p. I think that's pretty good for these cards, price-wise, because you've got like the Dragonite here, which we'll take a closer look at, and I think this can go for quite a bit. Obviously, so when I say quite a bit, I mean like £2 or £3 on its own. But again, it's pretty decent quality, again, these. And then let's pull out the Blastoise, because I know that can go for quite a bit on its own. Obviously, like I say, all non-holo, they're just rares. As you can see again, this one's looking pretty decent quality again. A little bit of edge wear, but nothing major. And they're all similar quality, all the ones that came in these 6 cards. I think these 6, that's pretty good going for the price. It's not too far off what they're worth, but it's a little bit of value there. And like I say with these, we're not actually making any money back because we're not selling anything. I literally bought 6 cards, put 6 cards in my binder. So all I can do with these is try and get them as cheap as I can so we can make the value back up elsewhere with other purchases. Those are my first purchases of the year.
I promised myself I wouldn't cry.
I think, to be honest, my favourite is the binder. I think that's a really good deal. Probably second best is probably the stack of cards with the first edition ones in there. I think again that's decent going. The others were a bit hit and miss. I think the slabs, they're okay. Again, they're not really going towards this binder. I think they're just something I randomly decided to do on the side. So really all that is just helping towards the loss in this series. It's not going to be helpful for trying to hit the profit. So I am going to try and not really buy that many of the slabs, because really it's the bundles and the cards that we can resell that are going to help us. Going forward, I've definitely got some better purchases, definitely got some ones that are going to make some decent profit, and I'm looking forward to opening them and going through them. But anyway, yeah, if you're interested, please like, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next video.